Cutting edge guests, awesome, uncensored, jaw-dropping information, plus funny memes, good deeds, and loads of laughter. Kind of have it all. Ladies and gentlemen, if your soul's awake, then welcome, because you're in the right place. And welcome back to New Year's special right now. Happy New Year's to everybody. I'm your host, Brad Wozni, and I want to welcome you back to this incredible show, the Sovereign Soul Show. You know, we stand for love, levity, and liberty. And I've got the incredible Michael Jaco backstage with us right now. So just as we warm up with everybody, we're going to start out with an intention here in just a moment. But if you have not seen this man and you have not known about any of the technologies that we've been sharing, and this is your third Code of Creation show that we're doing, but rather it's your first that you're seeing, I just want to take you back to the trailer on the show because it's very important for people to comprehend the incredible service this man has given not only to the country of America in the U.S. Navy for 24 years, Navy SEAL teams, and then SEAL Team 6, almost at one of the original plank owners, but goes all the way back to that. And then, as I've shared in the trailer that some of you have seen thus far, this man used remote viewing to find Osama bin Laden during his 11-year good guy CIA career. And his old squadron, Red Squadron, went in from SEAL Team 6 and got bin Laden and has moved forward now. If you don't know about the Unleashing the Warrior book that Michael has, please go to his website. Links are below, michaelkjaco.com, and grab that. But here it is right now. Welcome, everybody, for Code of Creation. We'll play the reel in the trailer. And as soon as we come back from the trailer, you will see the man and the legend, Michael Jaco, right here. All right, you divine lions and lionesses, this is a particularly special, if not one of the greatest, most informational, inspirational shows across over 800 of them on the Sovereign Soul Show. Tonight, myself, Brad Wozni, joined once again by Michael Jaco, a space program, super soldier, and SEAL Team 6 legend in the Navy, then as CIA for 11 years, used remote viewing to find Osama bin Laden and sent in his old team to go get him. Michael is going to share a story tonight about being a super soldier and on SEAL Team 6 and the Star Trek technology that was used in both programs, from medbeds which regrew limbs and regressed age, now available on Earth to help mankind. These are backed up by patents. Some of this is released and some of it is about to be released. Plus, you may even see William Shatner in a cameo on our show tonight. Share this with everybody, get this out there, and hey, the future is now. Thanks to David Schmidt, LifeWave, one of America's most prolific inventors with 200 patents. If you've not heard about this before, it will blow you away. Clean energy, free energy, reversing aging. Watch this show, share it, and we'll see you soon. And that soon is right now. Michael, welcome back. God bless you and Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's. Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, great to see you again. Thank you very much for all your service.
Yes, and thank you. So, intention on this show is that we help awaken many people. It's an intention from God above that we all, expand ourselves and have wonderful experiences here in this reality, and then take that and push it to the next level. And I think that's what we're going to get with this show. We're going to open up a lot of doors for people and, solidify, what a lot of people are already starting to experience.
Oh, beautiful. Love opening it up with intention as well, too. And here we are for anybody. I hope you've just been meditating on the amazing year ahead. This show is part of that amazing year. And Michael, your book really was an eye-opener, and watching you on Gaia all those years ago in Cosmic Disclosure with Emery Smith, and then they take you through the regression of your time as a super soldier. And one of the moments that you shared in that regression and then in the interview with Emery back then was about your super soldier training on Venus. We've heard a lot about Venus, the Venusian energy, not really the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, right? And relationships, but truly, the architect of some people's souls, and maybe the soul codes or the fragments, if they want to interpret it as that, is imbued in their own DNA, and they might feel a calling toward Venus. And we see that in the Aquarian age we're in right now. with this incredible vibration, this uplifting of consciousness, freedom and sovereignty and love just breaking out worldwide. And I think that's a great way to segue into our show right now and discussing with people, what the Super Soldier program is. Maybe we tap into that real quick to clue people up on if they're hearing about this for the first time, and then what your training was in Venus and what that involved.
Yeah, so I think what they do is they tap those of us that they see our soul imprint. They have some way to do that. We talked before the show about past lifetimes. So I have a book called The Waking of a Warrior, where I go into numerous past lifetimes. I've studied and researched over 100 different past lifetimes. One of them was during the time frame of Jesus, and in this book, Waking of a Warrior, many warrior lifetimes, as you could imagine. Those of us that are attracted to different things usually have a pattern of doing that type of work. I was Numa Pompilius, the second king of Rome, and he brought peace to Rome, actually, during that time. It's one of the only time frames in Rome's history where they had a very long period of peace. And then, because that's part of what I'm about in this life, tapping into that love frequency from my Archangel Michael experience and so forth. So Cyrus the Great, a lot of people have heard of Cyrus the Great, Persian king, and I was Marcus Camillus, second founder of Rome, Thucydides, Athenian general and historian, Xenophon, Greek historian, Lysander, who was a Spartan admiral during the Peloponnesian War. So many different lifetimes. I was with Alexander the Great. I was with Julius Caesar. I was, lots of I wasn't those people, but I was with those, as, helping them advanced. Alexander the Great was at one point one of my sons in a couple of different lifetimes. And then I helped support him in other lifetimes. And Julius Caesar, where I supported him again, was the reincarnation of Alexander the Great. So, you start to see that kind of stuff in your life after, you look back as like, why would I be, in this super soldier program? Why did they pick me at a very early age to go into it? And I've talked about how I remember my mom talking to like NASA looking guys in suits. And the next thing I know, I'm like going into underground bases. And then eventually going to different planets. And one of those planets was Venus for training. I went to the moon and I went to Venus. Now, Venus was after I had been several years in the program, probably in my early 20s, from my recollection. And the flying saucers you see with the little round, viewing ports on them, that's what I remember flying in to Venus. And I've talked to other people that have been, in communication with, the people from Venus, and they have flying saucers in their recollections, and literally talking to people from Venus, and they talk about these flying saucers. So I remember flying to Venus in the flying saucer. You go through cloud cover in the cities. On the surface, it's a lot different from everybody says Venus is just a gas cloud planet, and the temperatures are too high for humans to exist in. But they're dome cities, and they're massive dome cities, and in those dome cities are entrances to underground massive chambers. Now, in these underground chambers is where I remember having the training. And I also remember, and I've been told that I was the right hand angel of Archangel Michael, and for several different psychics have told me that, and I've of course had Archangel Michael experience like we've talked about.
Yeah.
But the archangels are trained in Venus, and I was I had that experience, training with archangels. They're walking around like everybody else. There's huge underground chambers, like I talked about. Lots of crystalline structures underground that they help design and make from just a little crystal, and they grow the crystals, and there's water everywhere, waterfalls, and plants that live underground. There's like a lighting system that's very similar to the sun, as far as like, beaming out light, and then of course it goes dark at night, and they have twinkling lights everywhere. It's a very, very magical place, and that's where I learned the art of using the love vibration in different as a warrior. And I've used it, of course, in this life on this level very effectively. But I also use it in the secret space program.
Wild. Like, that's the first I've heard. I'm still catching up with the archangels are trained in Venus part, and this is the first I've heard of you. If you said it before, I apologize for missing it. That you were, on the right hand of Archangel Michael as a warrior. It makes a lot of sense based on what you've accomplished in this lifetime and what you've architected for everybody else too. Man, amazing, absolutely amazing. What is it then about Venus overall that seems to be this tipping point in our system, this galaxy, for love and light, and how that is something that people should really be expressing? And then maybe also, as we heard from Greg Braden, we'll show his video in a little bit. People are asking in the chat to show us Greg Braden DNA video, so that's certainly going to come up, everybody. But really emitting the universal frequency of God, great omnipresence of divinity through people. So why Venus? Were you told that in your training with the Venusians, and how long did it last there? Because I know that time can be a little bit different depending on the realities that we're in or places.
Yeah, I only remember being there for a period of about 3 or 4 months, and that was enough time, because I'd have been prepped for going to Venus, and they do basically screening throughout the secret space program types of who would be the best fit, who would be able to actually use those abilities. Now, Venus itself was not one of the original planets. Venus basically came into our solar system with the direct intention of helping humanity advance, and that's one of the reasons why they're here. Now, that planet could fly away at any time, but and I think that they would have flown away if they felt that their intention to coming here and helping humanity was failing. But they have been very successful, and humanity has risen on multiple levels. They've been to America. They work with the good guy industrial military complex, and help push a lot of high tech technologies that are helping us defeat the negative forces that are in not just on Earth but throughout our solar system and the entire galaxy. So that's one of the reasons they're here. Now, for them, time is they live to be hundreds of years old. So it's even into the thousands. So it's not a big deal for them to come and spend, several hundred years, 1,000 plus 2,000 years. I think they've been here for several thousand years. There's in history, they talk about how this planetary source came into our galaxy like a huge flame with like they described it as hair from a woman coming through the galaxy, and that was Venus basically flying in and then setting up right next to us. So these are very advanced beings that have really come in for a very beautiful sharing of information, training the archangels and so forth, and helping them to interact with us as well. So incredible things are happening in Venus. Now, of course, they, like I said, they have on the clouds, they have like places on the clouds where ships land, and whole cities in the clouds. And we've seen some of that here on Earth, where some of these cloud formations look like ships and so forth. It's the same thing on Venus, but they're much bigger, and they're more they're there permanently. So the flying saucers and so forth, anti-gravitic, they don't They don't have any fuel source whatsoever. Mind controlled vehicles that fly in and out. And that's one of the things that I learned when I went to Venus, was to learn how to connect with different intelligences that are like machines. They're machines, but they have a soul intelligence in them, and that's a lot of the high tech like weapon systems. Some of them actually have soul like energies in them, and they connect with you. They won't connect with anyone else. So if anyone were to pick them up and try to use them, they wouldn't work. The same thing with the ships, flying saucers, and so forth. They connect with you, with your energy, with your soul pattern. And your soul pattern has to be at a very high level. Otherwise, they won't connect with you. And if you don't have an even higher soul pattern to use the weapon systems, that's an even higher soul pattern that you have, because you want someone with very negative energy using these weapon systems, because they're very effective and could be devastating. So you have to be on a very high level to use the weapon systems as well.
Oh, that's amazing. So I can only relate stories similar to that people might have, because I wasn't trained on VS. At least I don't know at this point in time, right? Who knows what happens? Maybe I'll do another Life Between Lives or QHHT session, or it'll just come in. But I've done many horsemanship trainings. After becoming a Reiki master, then my first two places I did them were in Tubac, Arizona, and then just at a ranch outside of Phoenix, Arizona. Just beautiful place. And relating that to horses and the communications and the vibrational frequencies that we put off, horses can, now their heart frequency, we're talking about frequency, which is a through line of this entire show in this series, everyone. Because as Einstein said, right, the medicine of the future is going to be frequency-based medicine. And we all know, as it's been said in scripture, that these things I can do, you can do in greater, because you have the ability to heal yourself. And we're not here making claims, right? We're just going back and conveying a little bit of scripture here as well. But we've seen that, and we'll show you proof. And in my horsemanship trainings, a couple of instances stand out really powerful. Number one, if anybody's ever watched an extremely autistic child, or a child who is nonverbal, who is in a lot of distress, especially, it works in dogs and cats, but most especially powerful with the horse energy. They connect with the horses, and the horse will come over and settle them down. And I've seen this in California all the way up to Vancouver Island. And that frequency then is offset because they're here for each one of us. And what I saw in Arizona, where we would sit down and get into a meditative state. This is before we even met the horses. And we were instructed to choose a horse. There were 4 of them in their stalls, to choose a horse, just with our eyes closed and feel it from our heart center. I thought that was amazing, because I've been doing transcendental meditation since 2011. And choosing it from the heart center, and they said, just write the number, because their stalls 1 through 4 were about 150 meters away. So what is that, about 200 yards, 250 yards, Michael? 2 football fields, roughly. And then, so wrote the number down, and there were 12 people in the class. I believe that's the exact number that we had, right? Class, right? We're being trained in horsemanship to also become, maybe the horsemanship people as well, right? But my desire was frequency. Well, guess what? Everyone in class who wrote the number down of the horse that they tapped into with their eyes closed ended up having a picture of themselves that was inside the stall that the trainer said that had been sitting there for a year, because prior to this class, we had to submit a picture going back to 2015, and they pasted it up in the horse's stall. So what they showed us was the non-local communication. And she said, I asked the horses to choose pictures. And again, this is nonverbal. So I get goosebumps, God bumps right now, retelling the story, because it's amazing. We have these sentient creatures on a pallet with all the pictures she printed out of like Polaroids, and the horse chose 3 to 4 people for an entire week, 7 days, had our pictures up in its stalls, and then we show up, close our eyes, haven't met the horses, we only see the numbers on the stalls, and we all choose the same horses to work with.
Wow.
And that was, again, from a heart center. And Heart Math Institute has proven that horses have an electromagnetic field that goes out 5 miles. The usual human is 6 feet or so. As you know, you can go out across the world. Some of you, Michael certainly can, 5 miles on average. So I just want to bring that in to, you know, mysticism is proven by science right now, everybody, as we go along the show, right? So people aren't kind of whacking out and going, oh man, you know, archangels and Venus, and how about this frequency? It's freaking amazing and magical. So keep an open mind here, folks, as we go through. I'm not sure if you've heard that before, Michael. I haven't had much of a chance to speak about it on my show, but yeah, it was amazing.
That's the first I heard it, but yeah, I completely connect with them. Boy, it's just like happened on everybody got the same thing. And the horses too. Wow. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, wow. It was 100%. It was amazing. And the cool thing is, as she said, she goes, you didn't choose them. Each one of them chose you first to match your vibrational energy, which was incredible. And that's who you got to work with for the entire training of the class that went on for a couple of days.
Wow. Yeah. And that was one of the, now you mentioned that the animals that were there on Venus, no animals ate each other. So they were, they're all in symbiosis. And, you know, I don't know what it is about the environment, but you didn't have to eat. You didn't have to drink. You just basically learn how to, you know, imbue yourself with the energies and the things that were perfect for your system. And that's one of the things I remember when we were there in Venus as well. I didn't experience that anywhere else. The vibratory frequencies that haven't been able to be replicated in other places like it is there. I think maybe in the future that's something that might come, but you know, I've heard of mystics that, you know, don't need food. I've heard of, you know, you look at the sun and you eventually transform yourself. I tried that. It didn't work for me, but I did it so that I worked myself up to an hour. And they said, once you get to an hour, you won't need food. And I did it for an hour and I still needed food. So, you know, there's some things out there that are kind of like, you know, take us in the wrong direction sometimes, I think. But it was a beautiful experience. Great meditation, sun gazing. You do it early in the morning when the light is not intense, or the last, you know, few minutes of you know, the setting, but just before the sunset, just as it comes up, and then you build yourself up so you can do longer and longer times. You do it barefoot, and you just go into a meditative state and let the rays of the sun come into your eyes. Really good. I felt really good doing it. So I don't say that it's not a bad thing. But as far as, like, you know, some people's claim that they, you know, don't have to eat anymore. I don't know about that, but maybe it works for some people. It just didn't work for me, but great meditation.
Yeah, I'm not interested in not eating anymore. I kind of enjoy it, but I definitely know the breatharians. You know, one of my girlfriends wanted me to be a breatharian, so we researched it for a bit back in the day, and we're like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. But it's cool. It's cool to see some of the science behind it. That you can do your morning and evening meditations and practices, and some of them went, you know, 2 years on a couple of things of water a day, and, you know, 1 or 2 scoops of food throughout. Maybe it was rice throughout the month, but. Yeah, it's amazing what our body can do and what we have not been taught, right? You know, we have purposely not been taught, and we have been indoctrinated in us that we need chemical weapons. Like Gregory Muscari says, amazing quote, chemical weapons and surgical strikes, you know, do not heal the body, right? But they might help for a certain ailment for a very short period of time to get us to that state where we need to heal. And all of this has really been hidden from us, and it's coming back right now. That's why I appreciate these shows on Code of Creation and Greg Braden. And we've got a lot of people in the chat on Rumble and some here in YouTube and asking, you know, again, Greg Braden, somebody, Denise Valbrecht, says she turns out she's wearing your Intuitive Warrior shirt today. Oh, good. So there you are. That's also the other book that's on the thumbnail as well, everybody. That was the one that I first read from Michael, Intuitive Warrior. So it's just amazing that she's wearing this today. But what we have the through line too is everybody is witnessing not only frequency, but we have this connection with all sentient life, and it doesn't matter where you are on the planet or an off planet, which we're talking about in this show. And Greg Braden has proven it now. We'll go over and show the video. If nobody has seen this before, it's about 1 minute and 20 or so seconds. You can hear it from him in his own language in 20 years of research to come up with this like minute and a half conversation to remind people of where we are all from and where we can go and what we can accomplish. So I'm going to play that now for all of you and just enjoy it. And yeah, please continue to support each other in the chat. It's awesome to just see it's taken off on Rumble, and got some great people here on YouTube. So over here to Greg Braden. Michael has had him on the show, and it was just a wonderful show too. Here we are.
Social bonds, and we no longer know who we are. We need look no further than 50 trillion cells in the human body, and the first layer of every one of those cells, it literally says God eternal within the body. And people have said to me, the rabbis came down really hard on me and said, we've tried to keep this secret. What gives you the right to reveal it? And I said, because I'm not a rabbi. What better time to reveal this than now? And why wouldn't we want to tell ourselves that we are God eternal within the body? We're not some random process, the result of a random mutation, slow, gradual evolution. There's an intentional intervention and a signature to tell us about that intervention that literally says we are God eternal within the body. What I've found is when people discover this, I see this in live audiences. I watch people's eyes and I can feel the vibe in the room, because now everyone has a challenge in their lives. How does God eternal within the body deal with this disease? How does God eternal within the body deal with the betrayal of the trust? And it's very different than how we're taught to think of it as mere mortal humans.
Love that.
Yeah. The guy's he puts it in words very well, and he's just a dude just like all of us, but he's reached some incredible levels. Tapped in some really good stuff, and reveals great information that helps people transform. So yeah, love his work.
Incredible work too at that. And just at the LifeCon conference we had in October, you had another chance to interact with him and the team and Code of Creation, which has really ignited and spawned this series before the entire documentary comes out. And the person that was just saying that we're all connected because of the yeah, it's great. Very, very cool. With regards to that, the Code of Creation and Gregory Braden, he's actually in the documentary, which is going to be coming out very soon, everybody. So you can stay tuned here. But Michael, would you just kind of set it up for everybody as to what Code of Creation is and why it was spawned by a joint venture between David Schmidt, co-founder of LifeWave, the inventor that has over 200 patents to all these patches, and him and Mickey Willis, who everybody who's awake in the world will probably recognize from Plandemic and the Great Awakening, getting 3 billion views during everything being censored in all of our lockdowns.
Well, it ties all that in. I've had David on my show, and we've talked about the vaccination program. They go into David's life, the build up, throughout time, how he got to the point where he's at now, very, very tapped into God. And just like Greg Braden and a lot of the people that are in the Code of Creation, and they talk about how they're trying to transform us in a very negative way. And they go into detail about that. They give, science behind what they're trying to do to humanity in a negative way, transform us with the vaccination programs and all the other things that they're doing. And they give a solution for that in that Code of Creation. And some of that, of course, is with the LifeWave technology.
Yeah, and what we've seen too, because David had said it even at the conference, he'd said it on your show a few months ago, there are dark forces, really attempting to stop everything that he's been doing and the team at LifeWave's been doing. And when you're sitting there looking at this, we just had in November, it was December, they were awarded the Stem Cell Innovation of the Year award. So they beat out Big Pharma. They beat out biotech companies that have put in millions to tens and hundreds of millions of dollars for our stem cells. And we're like, yeah, here's this thing. Price hasn't went up. For 5 years, it's the price of a Starbucks coffee a day, size of a quarter, thin as a few hairs. It's a little sticker. You put it on your body. It's non-invasive. And guess what it does with that? Cellergize AM activates your stem cells in a third of your genome. Wait, from a sticker? Yeah, set it and forget it. take it off at night before you go to bed. And 90 clinical studies started as a Navy SEAL program, as an energy enhancers blackout program. You have a Navy SEAL here, SEAL Team 6 veteran, who knows his own guys and brothers who were wearing these back in the day 21 years ago, everybody. So the authentication is here and the healing miracles. And I'm going to step into just showing you a few right now before we come back and we continue to talk about the power as a super soldier, what this does. But this is just wearing that little X39 patch, you know, day 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 for a little cut, being wound healing. It's incredible too. Here's a little child who is a couple years ago in summer out on a camping trip in Germany, sliced his finger off, went to the doctors. The German doctors said, "You cannot do anything." And they said, "Nine, hold on. We have the patches." And the parents put the patches on the kid after they sewed the fingertip back on, and has 100% use of the finger, the nerve cells regenerated. And here's one of the most graphic but telling: 8 weeks after this massive mangled hand surgery. It almost looks like something from a zombie movie for sure. I kind of think it does. But wearing these patches allowed the body to heal thyself, right? And here it is 8 weeks later, no sign of scarring or evidence. So just imagine, folks, for what you're seeing happening on the outside, imagine what it's doing inside for you. I mean, you can all look at Michael's shows over the years since he started wearing these, all going on 4 years now, just past 28 months for me now. You know, we are reversing aging, and this is also what that does, and that's proof in and of itself, right?
Yeah, and some of the suits that we wear in the super secret space program, super soldier. So some of those suits basically have some of that that LifeWave technology in them, embedded in them, so that when you get hammered, shot, stabbed, whatever, blown up, there's a release of different chemicals and so forth that basically, like LifeWave patches and so forth, that basically help you heal very quickly, like you saw in those pictures. It happens very, very, very fast, and you're basically active again. For the worst case scenarios, and I think we've talked about this before, where I have been killed in combat, blown to pieces. They put me into like the tank. It's like a tank filled with it's like an aqueous type of fluid, but it has all the building blocks of life in it, kind of like the tanks you saw in Avatar. But you're put in that. There's probes that are put on you. They electrify the water. It's got your DNA signature, and it rebuilds you. And then your soul re-inhabits, and you get therapy. You get therapy while you're in the tank, and then you get therapy for your brain to reconnect your brain and overcome the trauma of having been blown to pieces or whatever has happened to you. And then you come back out and you're ready to go. And that process, I remember in the early days of the Secret Space program, probably 40 years ago, like we're looking at it right now, back when I was in my early 20s, I guess, in the program or so, they would it would take 30 days or so for you to be recovered. But now the process is just like, I think 5 days at the most. So the technology is advancing, obviously, in the Secret Space program, just like it is here on Earth. A lot of those technologies, I think, are going to come out soon. I think this year, some of these technologies are going to start to leak. David Schmidt obviously is leaking some of those technologies. I don't know if he's, I'm pretty sure he's not in direct communication with Secret Space program. He gets his information from God, which, Secret Space program does as well. Now, there are negative aspects of Secret Space program, the Nazi types and the reptilian Draco beings that basically have, tried to destroy and, capture humanity like they're doing now with the vaccination program and so forth. But we're fighting back against that very effectively and stopping that out massively and shutting down all their bases. Their bases, they have a separate little base area on the moon. They've been kicked out of there. They have they basically almost completely controlled Mars, and I think they're pretty much completely kicked out of there by now.
Nice.
The underground bases here on Earth, mostly kicked out of. There's still some technologies that they have a thin hold on, and are still, making things bad for us here on the surface. But underground is pretty much cleaned up for the greatest part.
Wild. I'm still sitting here at, wow, I've got angel numbers 444 here for me in my time zone. That's pretty awesome.
Nice.
on this note. So what everybody, you just heard, LifeWave technology leveraging the super secret space program and allowing super soldiers and all the other benevolent administrators there to regenerate themselves very quickly. What I find really cool as well to this point, and I've shared it on the shows that you and I have done on Code of Creation and on other shows too, for the relevance of it, that just now it's last year. I almost said a couple months ago, last year, 2025, because, Happy New Year's again, everybody. It's the Jubilee. All this is coming out right now. This is the Jubilee year. We are a Star Trek Tier 1 civilization. We are about to see that come out this year, these next 365 days en masse, even though this has been around going on 6 years. Your X39, right? So it's a wearable med bed. I said that the very moment I had my healing miracle, and other people have picked it up because it's absolutely true, because it acts like a wearable med bed on your body, but you're not being dropped in a tank and being regenerated from half your brain, which is, remembers Michael, your story from last time, right? You had half a brain left, and they rebuilt all of you in that aqueous kind of amniotic fluid. It reminds you of being, a child being, born and in the womb, right? Yep. So why not? It makes total sense, doesn't it? And then what we see here with this Tier 1 civilization, where we all are going back to, it's been ripped out of our culture, ripped out of our history books on purpose. We're returning to that across the planet right now, is the ability for everybody to have it cognitively. So then they embrace it in their heart center, and then collectively as a consciousness, we are expediting that going forward. So the more of you, why we do these shows as well, it's so important for you to know. And going back to my point about what I was going to say happened last year, and making a point on that, is that when you know, and then you truly know that you know, so we go the filter through the brain down to the heart center, you feel it in your heart, and that's your absolute truth, and your barometer, and you're connected with your power chakra and your gut that has more neurons than our brain. When you're tapped in that way, you have an ability to positively affect up to 5 million people in your locality. So across your state, your province, your territory, by uplifting their vibration. You just have to look at the small little studies done on transcendental meditation in Washington, D.C., and the crime rates, the worst crime rates, the murders and the rapes, etc., that had dropped by a factor of, 5 within a matter of 48 hours after a group meditation on a White House lawn. And that was back in the 80s. So again, frequency can be thy medicine. That's what Einstein said, and the future is now. So a couple of months ago, last year, General Valley reached out to me. Everybody, if you don't know that man's name, national treasure. And he asked me to take part in a call with a man that he later met in Florida a couple of weeks later. And that man has been working in the programs on Earth while Michael was off doing super soldier stuff. And he confirmed a number of the things that have been going on, which was he's now a project manager, or up until RFK Jr. was confirmed as HHS, and now he's Director RFK Jr., but he was working as a project manager for off-world high technologies, bringing it in for the last nearly 50 years and converting those into military use on planet, off planet, and eventually into a scaled down commercialized use. So think microwaves, BlackBerry technology, and I happen to know that one personally, and other things that we can use that aren't as advanced. And that's all coming right now. And this company, LifeWave, is the forefront of it. And that's why Code of Creation, this documentary, is going to make it a household name, from the patches to Cellergize AM to winning the Biotech 2025 award for Stem Cell Innovation of the Year. I mean, it all comes from us. We started as a stem cell. Then if you can activate your stem cells again, you get massive regeneration. You're restoring your DNA for less than a freaking Starbucks a day. So the alliance between David Schmidt on the left that you see here, and then Mickey Willis, the incredible, brilliant mind, and his team, and it's a husband-wife team too, like you and Tracy Joe, which I love as well, the divine union, Michael. These guys, these men are divined by our Creator to bring forth the technologies that have been massively suppressed naturally to allow us to level up into the superhuman beings that we've all heard guys like Dr. Joe Dispenza talk about. We can be like on a daily basis.
Yeah. So yeah, taking that you know, the frequencies of the mind and the body, the heart, and so forth, and you know, integrating them and using them effectively. You know, I talked about that. You talked about the pretty much the Maharishi effect, which you know, that study, they did a study on that, and and the people that were involved in that, you know, dropped the crime rates, and not only the crime rates, but also the accidental rates of people getting injured and so forth. So, and that was just by them, you know, focusing for, you know, a month, or I think a month or two. They all meditated at a certain time, and they kept focusing their energies. So I've talked about that before. I talked about that going overseas and using those energies and connecting with others. You talk about the, you know, connecting with 5 million people with your frequency waves and so forth. So when I started to do that, I was able to anchor in this, what I call the love vibration shield, you know, globe. And it basically, still to this day, those areas haven't had terrorist attacks. So that is a capability that we all have. Now, like you've seen in Star Wars and so forth, where, you know, the good guys and the bad guys, you know, the guys who are super advanced, they use, you know, the Force, and they can, like, you know, just, and it's send somebody flying, or, you know, open doors, or all kind of crazy stuff, and, you know, tell people what they're going to think. I think a lot of us do that already, but, but, you know, the people that are, you know, not so advanced, that are trying to do bad things. But we all have those capabilities in the secret space program, all of us, that are in certain programs. So like the special forces of the secret space program, we all have those capabilities. And so when you see a lot of these things in movies, it's basically, it's telling us, you know, what's out there already. And it's so funny. I have a granddaughter that when she was really small, she was trying to use the Force, and she was like moving papers around, but it was kind of like maybe the vent was moving, but she was all excited. It's just, you know, it's funny. Like, oh, good job. So, you know, believing is one of the major factors that I learned in the Venus program that I went through. Your belief system, you know, overcoming the doubts, and the way you overcome the doubts is by getting involved and actually doing a lot of these things. And you'll focus on something, and it'll manifest, and you're like, oh, that's a great coincidence. No, it's because you focused on it and you brought it into reality. But a lot of people don't understand that. So whatever you have in your life right now is what you've most focused on. And so learning how to focus on the things that you want to attract, I think, is one of the things that most of humanity is starting to realize, and why we're moving into this golden age, because we're all working together to manifest a better Earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautifully said, Michael. And one of my trainings with Bob Proctor was I wasn't a one-to-one mentor with him. I was a one-to-one mentor with a few other people, Murray Smith, very good friends of his in Canada. But Bob Proctor taught us, and I learned this from Earl Nightingale, because that's how I got to Bob. That's how I got to Tony. All those years back in the 1990s, on audio tape, I had Earl Nightingale's Strangest Secret. And that flipped my world upside down in a good way from everything that I had been taught, you know, especially with the parents I was brought up in our household. And they didn't believe it. And you're talking about belief, right? And being open-minded to something you may not know, and allowing to sink in and maybe do your research. And what Bob taught, to that point you're making, is he said, you know, yeah, prayer is good. Wishing and hoping is not. You must expect it. And expectation comes from a rooted belief that it's going to happen, so that therefore you can manifest it And that's what they've been doing in a negative way for all of our generations, everybody, as you're aware of, we're very much aware of now, from the radio, the television, the programming, the school, the indoctrination, etc., to versus what we can all do. So now you have an expectation that you can heal, you can upgrade, you can live hundreds of years longer, potentially thousands, like the Venusians you trained with on Venus. And you have this ability to uncap your telomeres so that you're no longer, oh my gosh, Freedom 55, which is an insurance commercial. They had it in Canada. I don't know if it was in the States, Freedom 55, retire and then go to the golf course and die at 80. No, but if you believe that, guess what you're going to get? And the same thing here. You're seeing the proof, not only just belief, then you have it backed by the Maha cabinet and the head of it as well. Here you have not his trainer is wearing it, who's in the picture too. Michael's met him. I don't have that picture on the screen. We showed it in our last show though. Working out with him in Venice Beach. That guy is a freaking giant. He must have been.
He's an amazing guy. He's got a huge heart too. Imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's a good guy.
A good guy. Yeah. Not a Nazi. Yeah. Just incredible. So it tells you something when you have the line of the Kennedys who are using X39 themselves. I'm brought onto a call with a man who's now tied directly to RFK Jr. and to bring out this stuff. We have the inventor who of LifeWave X39 patches and all these other ones, who is America's most prolific inventor with over 200 patents today, alive today, most prolific. And the Code of Creation movie, which is coming up, and it's literally like a modern day Tesla. And, being that we're talking about super soldier programs and Star Wars that you just mentioned, and using the Jedi Force, which also you've leveraged, Michael, and taught people how to calm storms and using these healings, all these things which have been unknown to us in the education systems. We also see it like from Star Trek. And, William Shatner, Captain Kirk himself, is the freaking spokesperson for the company now, everyone. Yeah. And I love sharing this video because I always get it requested. I'm going to do it again here in a moment. It's one of the most fascinating because gifts come through ways that you might not see it, everybody. And one of the gifts in my life has been Michael and his wife, Tracy Jo. And it was sorted out. I listened to my soul when I saw that he was running a remote viewing training, and it was, money I didn't have at that point in time in lockdown and going and getting it. But I literally listened to my soul. My soul spoke to me in the shower. Shower can typically happen very well for people. I'm a Pisces, so water. I'm very much attracted to water, an Aquarian guy. And so here we are, and it went, go for it. And so I texted the person who was running the training and putting it on, brought Michael there. And then the ability to go there financially showed up the next day, stepping into faith, stepping into a belief, and expecting to be there. This is literally my story. And then I went there and got to meet Michael, got to meet Tracy Jo, had them sign the book that Amazon didn't want to deliver to me for almost 3 weeks. Because isn't that amazing? You can put the World Economic Forum, the plan to kill everybody in the world book on Amazon, but they wouldn't allow Intuitive Warrior or the Awakening of the Warrior to be on Amazon. It's like, but they don't want that truth out there at that time. And so as I'm relating this back to William Shatner, another gift that Michael and Tracy Jo brought to me is this. And with our team, I put it on a frozen shoulder, chronic pain. And then I know a lot of people suffer from chronic pain. And Tiger Woods and Lindsey Vonn Surgeon, and Lindsey at 41 is going to the Olympics next month, USA. She's right underneath Michaela Schifrin. Right, Michaela, well done, 105 gold medals. I worked out with her when I was doing my rehab. Wow. She was 10 feet away with her mom, but I lived in Edwards, Colorado at that time, and that was the gym that she worked at. It's the Michaela Schifrin Gym for Howard Head Sports Medicine, Bill Orthopedic Clinic. So I got to work out with her. I wasn't doing her workout. I had just come out of a wheelchair, so that was where I was. But we worked out together, 10 feet away from each other for about an hour, and that girl can go. So the guy never fixed a shoulder, and we never got the chronic pain healed for 10 years. Well, it was 12 years actually. And then the patches came up, and my 9 out of 10 pain shoulder went to a 1 in less than 3 minutes. And then it went to 0 in 10 minutes. And we have a veteran here in our Rumble chat who's come in, ADA Artillery, veteran of like 25 years. We've had a U.S. Marine combat veteran in Vietnam who had half a century of 15 out of a 10 pain. And a member of our team, Connie Lucas, was on here a few weeks ago reiterating his story where he had tears in his eyes because it took him out of pain for the first time since he was massively wounded several times, shot up in shrapnel as a Marine Corps veteran. And so these patches bring a second lease on life to people and another level of living that I had never experienced before or thought was possible until I had the experience. So I hope everybody enjoys the ability to try it out. It's 100% guarantee, because now you have William Shatner, the Star Trek. This is Star Trek level technology, you know?
Wearable medbed.
Oh man, totally. I had a crush on, as an aside, I had a crush on Declan Beverly Crusher and Counselor Troy. And you see them go in and Geordie gets his arm reset and goes, whoop. That's kind of where we are, right? So, man. So anyway, Captain Kirk. All right. Back on point, Brad. I digress. Talking about Dr. Beverly Crusher and Counselor Troy. An empath. Interesting. How cool is it they used on Star Trek? So here we are, everybody. People are loving that I was going down this road in the chat, though, Michael. So I guess there's something there to tap into.
Yeah. So apropos that, William Shatner is, attracted to, Star Trek technology, which is LifeWave. So he's all on board. I mean, the guy that designed the sets on Star Trek designed the set you're going to see in this little clip.
Yep. And here it is, everybody. Enjoy. This is the world's oldest intern with Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner.
I've lived a long life. I've done a lot of things, but I've never been an intern.
I'm the founder, sure, but I'm also an inventor. My latest experiment? Hire William Shatner, but as an intern. No way I can afford that guy full-time.
Hi, I'm Alicia. I'm going to be your trainer for today.
Hi, Alicia. Hi, Alicia.
William Shatner?
Yeah, well, you can call me Bill. Or intern. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's just fine. Today I'm going to be taking you on a tour of our Welcome Center.
I hear they have something like a captain's bridge in the Welcome Center. Feels like you're traveling through space.
I have an award-winning production designer.
This I gotta see.
For decades. And hey, Bill.
No, please, no sci-fi today. I'm just here as an intern, that's it. I just beamed in. Yeah, I know that look. I get that look whenever I sneak around, and you're sneaking. Go away. I'm busy. Jackpot. You didn't see a thing. People gotta see this.
Bill, who let you in here?
He let me in here.
Bill? Captain?
You gotta get out here. The old intern who looks an awful lot like me, he's messing things up.
But wait, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a sci-fi thing. Come on.
Oh, excuse me. David, was that? Is that in budget? You are. Come on. Back to the group.
People gotta see this.
I know. It's a part of the tour.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you ready for me? Doug, Bill, Doug? Bill! Doug! Bill! For goodness.
Do you know Doug?
Do I know Doug? Star Trek designer on props and sets and the spaceships and this?
Came out beautifully, huh?
Oh, Doug is...
Hey, Bill.
Oh,
One of your clones said you're causing trouble.
you're taking the word of a clone?
Personally, I always go with the original.
That's a good idea.
I have a question. Are you really going to be an intern here?
But, yeah, why not? But first, I gotta tell you about the Welcome Center here at the LifeWave offices.
Okay, this is a commercial. Got it.
No. It's a kinda soft sell. No, just a simple suggestion, really. Copy this QR code to learn about LifeWave, its products, and their amazing Welcome Center, and that's it. I had a great time experiencing their amazing life-changing technology and learning about the opportunities surrounding one of the fastest-growing companies on the planet, and you will too. So check them out, and just tell them Bill sent you, the real Bill, not that sci-fi clone. Oh, okay. Hey, duty calls. Back to internet. Bye-bye.
What a show. Excellent job on the marketing to that team right there.
That's awesome.
That's so awesome. I love it too, because they've also done it like, he's going through a senior citizen's home. Like, where are you going? You're going off tour or something. Oh, and for a man, Canadian, good job. William, thank you. 92, he turns 93 years old this year, everybody.
Wow.
Incredible. Yeah, just crushing it. And there's a little bit more that we're going to be doing with William Shatner right here too. Do you know that, Michael?
I don't know any more about that, but I've kind of heard rumors that he's going to be part of, he was at the not last convention before last. That little box you saw was basically a 3D hologram, and you can be anywhere in the world, and basically it'll hologram you in, and it's fantastic. It's like real time. When I went to the visitor center there at the headquarters for the first time with a group, David Schmidt hologrammed into one of those boxes, and we asked questions and all kind of crazy stuff. But and the not the last one, but the one before last, William Shatner came in, and David Schmidt was on stage, was asking questions, and people from the audience asking questions. It's pretty amazing technology.
That's real amazing technology too. And my chronic pain gone, and guess what? I didn't have to go through this New Year's holiday with a loose molar. Everybody remembers who has been with us before on the show, Michael, but for those who are brand new, welcome. 2 years ago, December 24th, my left molar, I'm pointing to it right now. This left molar had become completely loose. There was tons of infection. I had massive amount of pain. Being down in South America, everything's closed until about January 10th of that year, the new year. So there's no way I could go and get the tooth pulled successfully unless I went into some hospital down here. And I texted the team, and I put all the patches on. It's called wallpapering. So if you have it all more than the X39 and 49, you have a couple of them. Put them on at night because I'm still doing shows in the day, and did mouthwash with Restore and Colloidal Silver and stuff throughout the day. And 8 weeks later, I was eating a hamburger, and I regrow the anchoring of the molar. Can't remember what it is called in the jaw. And then 2 months later, you and I had a meat eating contest at this restaurant. And
Oh, you can eat meat. The Brazilian deal. I love that.
That was a good photo of us in Cancun. We had a great time there.
Yeah, love that place.
Yeah, it was a good time. So,
and that was a LifeWave trip that we had won. So that's because we promote this stuff, and people love it, and so we built some nice businesses. So it's another thing that people can get active, become active with. You like the product, share the product, and you can build a very nice business that keeps growing.
Yeah, most definitely. And we have a power team. You know, Michael's got the awards behind him. You can see over his left-hand shoulder, you know, #1 couple years in a row across the world. You know, we're on team together. People have seen Connie Lucas and Robin Blanc-Pascari and others in our team, and doctors like Dr. Pamela Lewin as well, medical doctor on our team here on the shows. This comment just came in right before we went to the William Shatner clip. So the person says, 2 months on X39, 1 month on Aeon. After my L1 exploded, movement was difficult. Now I'm mostly pain-free and way more mobile. Inflammation is gone. Amazing testimony. Yeah, thank you, Anna. Yeah, 100% healing miracles. This is what it's about. So that's what Michael and I do here. You see on the shows and with our team, because my soul's purpose in 2015, what I got when I met my spirit council in my QHHT session, and I asked, and you had a couple of questions you could ask your council. And my question, what is the purpose in my life in this lifetime, me incarnating here as this guy, Brad Wozni, in my job on earth? And it came back loud and clear, word for word. They said my job was to uplift the consciousness of mankind through song and story. Song and story, harmonics, perfect. And that set me off on a purpose. And this falls 100% in line with this purpose, because we have the ability now, proven for 2025 Biotech Award-winning Stem Cell Innovation of the Year, right? Proven ability to accelerate healing, proven ability to start restoring your DNA for less than a Starbucks a day. It's all natural. It's non-invasive. We have people here on our team who, because of the environments and the economies in the last, few years, they're actually getting a couple $100 a month by sharing this, getting free patches. And that's what it's all about. And the mission comes right from the man, David Schmidt himself, the inventor. And we've got a video here to play, everybody, because this company is going to be what I believe and Michael believes, not only a household name, but it'll be the tip of the spear for the new earth, where we are for the next at least quarter century. It's all coming through from this company, as far as I'm concerned. Your thoughts? Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. No question about it. New products coming out, and we can talk about those after we watch the video, but I'm wearing one of the new products right now. I've been wearing it for almost a month now. And it's like, I didn't really think that I needed, appetite suppressant, but I have had a little difficulty, like, losing a little bit of weight, and it's like an Ozempic in a patch, and it gives you energy. So I don't have any appetite all day long, and I eat what I need, and that's it. And so we had a little breakfast, light breakfast, and that's all I've had all day long. So it's like 3 o'clock my time, and we worked out. I've already worked out. Usually when I work out, I'm like ravenous, not ravenous. This next level technology. So it's another patch that's coming for everybody, Ozempic level, without all of the, venom. So they have venom. A lot of people don't realize a lot of these drugs are, venom laced, and that's what we've seen for, of course, the COVID vaccination, snake venom, and this has Gila monster. Ozempic has Gila monster venom in them, so that's what destroys your appetite and also destroys your gut. So this is all safe and effective, and very, very amazing. And then the water machine that's coming out, putting light in the water, healing properties from that I've experienced. And I think eventually what we're going to see is food that's been infused with light that's going to start to come out. I don't know, but just the way things are moving, that's kind of the way this company just is taking the market of everything and taking it next level.
Oh, that's so cool. All right. Here's a video, and we're probably going to go for another hour on all those comments, because that's freaking awesome too. It is David Schmidt, in his own words, of his mission on earth. You've heard mine. You're very much aware of Michael's. And here it is from the man himself, America's most prolific inventor alive today, over 200 patents, helping the world.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. There is more information there than most people would ever realize. I was 8 years old, and my parents wanted to take me to the workshop of Thomas Edison. On the drive back home, I said to my dad, I want to be an inventor. Light, as it turns out, is the primary control mechanism for everything else that happens in the body. What if we could have an external electromagnetic field that would essentially reset the stem cells that are already in our bodies and get them to function like younger, healthier cells? What if in the process, we actually found out that in a book that was written thousands of years ago, that information already existed? God has left his fingerprint in natural design, and that blueprint shows up in nature. The mathematical codes are identical. The implications to this are absolutely extraordinary. What drives me is that there's this enormous sense of hope that we can create technology to generate clean energy, that we can have foods that aren't genetically modified, and we can meet all of the needs on the planet that we have to, and that we can heal people.
I love that.
It's amazing. Beautiful.
Yep. If he was a politician, that would be his video running right there. Everybody would gravitate to it. Absolutely. All right. Water machine, free energy devices, drones for humanitarian aid that he's developed. He's beat Northrop. Everybody heard Biotech Award. He's crushed it with the patch X39 Cellergize Stem Cell Innovation of the Year. But he also beat out the biggest defense contractors on the planet and built his own drones, leveraging the free energy fuel cell that he developed and patented himself, and also developed the water machine, which is coming out shortly, which is also going to be heavily shown in the Code of Creation documentary, which will be on streaming platforms shortly. Just stay connected here. I'm going to let everybody know the moment that drops. But Michael, you're also wearing the appetite suppressant patch, the natural non-Ozempic Gila monster venom patch to suppress your appetite. I think that's, outside of pain, I think that's the next biggest, market. People are like, you out of pain, let me sleep well, focus better.
And it gives you energy. So
Really?
appetite suppressant gives you energy. So I'm an energy hound. I wear the, energy enhancer and that patch and X39, X49. And I'm like on another level again. It's like, how many levels is he going to like up us? It's crazy. I'm just amazed by, this technology.
Yeah, it's amazing. Somebody asked, how much is a Starbucks? I've never drank there before. All right, so the typical thing is around $4 for a cup of coffee. The X39, which with Cellergize AM activates your stem cells and restores 1/3 of your genome. That's less than $4 a day at Starbucks. And by the way, everybody, somebody asked here, Michael, is this worldwide? Can I get it in Canada or Australia? The company, it's all around the world, right?
Yeah.
Where are the distribution warehouses again, outside of North America and Mexico and Ireland? Yeah.
So Ireland is a big one. And they've actually, I got a video from David Schmidt to the top people just recently, a couple of days ago, and he's saying that they're upping it so that right now they can do I think this year they'll be a $1 billion company, but they're upping the level of the patch, how many they can put out. Right now they're looking to do 2-3 million, and they're upping it again to 4 million or $4 billion dollars a year worth of patches. So it's really, really ramping up. And I think the water machine is going to be transformative for so many people, as it has for me.
Well, and everything works based off the X39. For people who are asking in the Rumble chat, they're asking, "Oh, the appetite suppressant patch, how much is it?" Okay, so Michael's one of the, he's one of the test guys.
I'm a testy.
Talk about tip of the spear as a company, SEAL Team 6, tip of the spear, Tier 1 development group unit, and also our team, tip of the spear, #1 in the world for the company. That's our team, right? So, and you're looking at us right here, and others that I've had on my show, and you guys have all familiar with Connie Lucas, Robin Blanc-Mascari, others, Dr. Pam Lewin, you name it. So the thing is, it all starts with the foundation blueprint is your X39 patch. And the reason why, you're likely getting much better results is because you're leveraging X39, right? Again, with Cellergize AM, you and Tracy Joe are drinking it every day. I'm drinking it every morning as the drink supplement. It activates your stem cells. It activates 1/3 of your genome. So we're restoring our God-coded DNA, like Greg Braden showed everyone here in the video, for less than $4 a day, au natural, right? Set it, the patch, and forget it. And then stack on top of that. So the water, the appetite suppressant patch that you're talking about wearing right now, it all goes right back to the fundamental building blocks of our being, which is our God molecule, right?
It's incredible. Yeah. So, all these technologies going forward will be, they're available to everyone. Like you talk about the energy devices that he powers the drone with. I've seen that technology. I've been to his laboratory. Had to sign a bunch of NDAs, but the technology is way beyond anything I've ever seen. And of course, I've been involved with the highest levels of SEAL teams and CIA. I never saw this kind of technology. And I asked him, I said, well, it can do this. And I'm thinking in my mind, what would be next level, based on, my experience with, working with super, super advanced technologies. And I said, well, could it do something like this? And he says, that's already something we have in the design. It'll be available next month. And I was like, holy moly. And then I asked him a bunch of other questions that I'm not even going to touch. But he's like, yeah, it can do this. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And how about this? And he's like, yep, we've already got that. And it can do this, it can do that. And I was like, wow. And this was years ago that I went to his laboratory. So I can tell you that he's way more advanced now. And like you talked about, the energy systems that are going to be coming for the home in the next couple of years or so, uses the technologies in his drone program that's super far advanced than anything out there, any kind of drone program.
Incredible. Yeah, there's so much where to go from here. And for people on this show, remember, Michael and I are doing Code of Creation here monthly. So, next month we'll have part 4. We're going to talk a little bit more about this stuff. So keep staying tuned to it, but get this going for yourself. I mean, once again, this is wearable, medbec, Star Trek style technology that actually works. It was developed for the SEALs. It's worn by RFK Jr., all of Maha back, Mike Tyson, athletes and warrior grannies in 80 plus countries around the world. Yep. Right now at the link, you can see the QR code here. You can scan it, or it's scrolling under the screen, or it's in the description. If you're watching this broadcast or listening to the podcast later, that will take you directly to our discount right now for everybody at 30% off and a 100% money back guarantee. So you get to try that. You got support. You've got Monday to Friday Zooms you can get on with us and our team, phone calls, emails, because we want everybody to prosper. All the clinical studies have proven it 100% works on 100% of the people, because it starts with the God molecule. Just that you might not be a one-patch wonder like me. They call me a one-patch wonder, right? My pain came out of my shoulder from 9/10 to a 1 out of 10 in 3 minutes and was gone in 10 minutes. I'm a one-patch wonder. About 80% of the people are one-patch wonders. The other 20%, several months. but you get all that support because you might have something going on internally. And what X39 does, when it activates your God molecule, your stem cells, right, with Cellergize AM, what our doctors have shown us on the team here, and Michael keeps sharing this weekly, several times a week to his channel as well. It triages the brain, the heart, and the lungs. So we have our like a divine guided missile, right? Stem cells that will go and rebuild our heart, our brain, and our lungs, heal that first wherever it's needed before it might address a cut on your finger or a scar that you might have had in your hand since you were a kid, right? It's kind of like, you know what? Let's prioritize the body, brain, heart, and lungs first before anything else. And it's freaking fascinating. This is how we're designed, right?
It's incredible. Yeah. And not only are I don't think we've mentioned before the skin products as well. So the Alavita, there's a patch for the skin. I found out extremely effective and helpful. And then there's creams for the night and the day. And then there's basically the stem cell technology type, which you put around your eye. You put it all anywhere on your face, but it's great skincare. My skin loves it. I know a lot of people have had problems with their skin, use the Alavita as well. Yeah. So there's many different products that are available. I think there'll be a lot more in the future. But the release of these, it's because he talked about the water machine, or at least the water, the effectiveness of the water. The first, I was in Aruba. It was one of the first times that I won a trip. I think it was like over 3 years ago. He was talking about very secretly about the water machine and how within seconds people were starting to feel the effects of it very positively. And when I first tried the water after a couple of years it finally came out, it was just like that. I experienced had an incredible experience with the water within seconds. So I think that's going to happen for everybody.
Oh, it'd be amazing. Yeah, it was so cool. Yeah, it's biblical. The video that we showed here, it had in the special effects graphics talking about decoding the Bible. And if anybody hasn't watched these shows that we've been doing, and prior to Code of Creation, Warriors of Wellness, Michael's been on, we've been doing that monthly as well for 2 years now. And the biblical decodes are literally gematria and Newton meter frequencies where he built this water machine. This is freaking incredible because, how are you for time? Do we have a few minutes to go down this rabbit hole for everybody?
Sure, got a few more minutes, yeah.
Okay, cool. So in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. That phrase, he turned into gematria. That was what we showed in the special effects in the video. From that, he went, that's interesting. Gematria, 999, 888, 777, all these. I wonder if there's frequencies in life, in matter, or any other creatures, sentient life on the planet that would match that. He found it actually came in lobsters in their blood. Lobsters have green blood like Vulcans. And David's nickname in freaking college was Spock. So, he's been a Trekkie from the beginning. He designs the new headquarters with Doug Drexler, who designed every set on Star Trek, all the spaceships on Star Trek from the original series all the way up until the last 5 years, right? And he goes, okay, lobsters, Vulcan, blood, everybody remembers Spock. Spock can heal very fast, Vulcans. And then he goes, all right, well, what if I took frequencies and I hit something and then I did that against an element, and he created a new element on Earth, never existed before on the periodic table. And he went, well, that's interesting. Now, if I start hitting it with frequency and I spin that element in water, what happens to the water? And the water like lights up, like incredible. And then they looked at the density of the water, and I can't remember exactly how they said measurement. I'm not a scientist. And they went, this water's never existed before. So he has on the water machine and a new element on the periodic table and a water which has never existed before on planet Earth, which has results in 15 seconds, which you can see why the dark forces don't like this. And and what you've conveyed and others have conveyed here, Michael, is when you drink a glass of that water, you feel, your throat chakra expanding. Maybe you want to just give a real time directly from you, so they hear from you what your experience was.
Oh yeah. So with the water, I started. I felt very light. I felt that the neurons in my brain were firing. I felt like you said, the throat chakra expanded, and it was just an overall incredible feeling. So I drink that every morning, and when I got the water machine, I was experiencing some difficulties with I've been fighting the squalomas, skin problems for about 25 years. So I had potions that I put on it, and it would kick it back, and sometimes I get it frozen by a dermatologist and so forth. But spending all those years in the tropics, even wearing hats and so forth, you're gonna be exposed. So it started to have a negative effect on me, and it started to creep up in other areas as well. So I the treatments that I was doing they weren't working anymore. So I had to get some of them cut out, and it was just really going to another level very, very fast. So I was looking forward to getting the water machine and seeing if it would have a positive effect, because I was looking at probably getting more cut out, and people die from that shit. So I was like, oh, I've lived through all this stuff, who knows? But I started drinking the water, and it completely turned around. It stopped, and then it reversed. It's still reversing because it was pretty advanced in some areas. It's almost completely gone in a lot of areas that were really were problematic. I also had some problems with my lungs. I've had problems with my lungs since I was a kid. I always beat it back. COVID came in; it really hammered my lungs. And I've been attacked. I get directed energy weapon attacks. Everybody that's in the secret space program that reveals on that stuff, if they're still alive, which many of them are gone now, they are constantly attacking you in different ways. So I was having some problems with the lungs again, and the skin problems. So I don't know. Maybe they had found multiple ways to hit me. So the water machine turned all that around completely. And I know that people were. I can't talk too much about this, but I think once a water machine comes out, it's going to help a lot of people. But there are people that were in our organization that were near death. They got the early water machine. It turned them around. Who knows? Maybe I was, on that path as well. But it's definitely one of those technologies that has been helping a lot of people. Turn around some difficulties in their lives, and reverse the process of rapidly moving towards death. Really, I know many people on LifeWave that had that coming on, and they got the water machine, and it completely reversed it. So it's like I said, another amazing technology. We're living in a time where these evil ones are attacking us on every imaginable level that they can to take us down, so that we can't have an effect on them, which is happening. So we want to survive, so we can make this a better world. But unless we have the technologies of keeping ourselves healthy, it's not going to happen. So that's what's amazing about LifeWave. The patches. Now I'm talking about the water machine, but the patches as well. We had someone on our program, two people have come forward on my Miracle Monday, and they talked about how they had parents that were basically, had 3 days left. They put patches on them, and they completely reversed, and they're out, running around, having a great time, having a great life again. So, of course, does it work for everybody? I know that. I know the people who've tried it that were not doing so well, but it didn't turn them around, unfortunately. But it does for a lot of people. So it's like you said, if you're using the patch now, would I have had those great results if I never used the patch and started using the water? Debatable, right? But I think because I've been using the patch for a long time, it's basically helped my body get ready for next level, ascension level, capabilities. So I think that's one of the things that we have, to look forward to, increase capabilities, taking the mind to another level so that you can tap into a lot of these things, past lives, like I talk about, super space program stuff. It wasn't until I got further in life that I tapped into that. So maybe people will start to tap into it sooner with the patch technology, because it's basically open up those neural pathways and turning off the programs that basically shut that down so you don't remember. So a lot of things are going to come out of this technology going forward.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Where it's going, where it's headed. There was a question about the lightweight water machine, if it's available yet. So they must have just come into the show here. No, it's not available yet. Let's start with X39. We have a great Canadian, Linda 78, just wants to know what to order first. And that link is there for the starter bundle right there, catchlifewave.com. So you want to start with X39. God molecule, take care of that. That's your building blocks. Like if you're going to go out and run a marathon or do a sprint, right? Start walking, and then as long as you can walk, you can build up from there. Then you can add weights, you can do calisthenics. Now you might be doing, hip Pilates like I'm doing, and running in the tropics, and keeping up the plyometrics for surfing. And because I like to surf at a level where unfortunately some serious injuries can happen. So I want to make sure my body is taken care of. And Michael's right there as a grandfather in his chair, looking like a freaking stud. He is, and he always has been, and it's amazing. Yeah. I plan to go for another 220 years. And that's no joke, because there's so much going on in this world that's coming up to experience here. And then our ability to go travel and experience other societies and planets. Like you've had back when you were super soldier, but this time much nicer if we're a welcome tourist, right?
Absolutely. And that's kind of what I've experienced, in this reality, after being in the SEAL teams and traveling all over the world. Is like, what is it like to do it this first class? Well, I've done that. So that's the amazing thing. And thanks to LifeWave. So it's basically giving me the opportunity to do that.
Yep. Yeah, it's amazing. And I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate the team, and I appreciate all of you in the audience here. And as you mentioned earlier, Michael, and as I've reiterated a few times, we have the #1 team in the world with this company right now, and has been for over 3 years now since Michael got involved. So we're tip of the spear, #1. You can work with us as well. The link is on the screen. Start with X39. You let us know if you want to be able to share that. We have doctors right now. I was just talking to one of our heads, Robin, yesterday on the phone, right before celebrations, New Year's celebrations. And we have one of our chiropractors who is rolling this out in his clinic and his daughter's clinic. She's a chiropractor too.
Wow.
So just imagine if you're in the medical industry or you're in the wellness industry, and we have apothecary stores who are sharing this with people as well, and going, you come back, you got a great night's sleep with an Aeon and an X39, you are generating recurring revenue, small to begin with, can be very, very large very quickly, and free patches as you go. So all the mechanisms, the tools, the system is here. You just have to plug in the tools and the system. We've got it all ready for you to go at the pace that you want to, and you'll be embraced by everybody. And there's nothing to lose. It's our health that we're talking about. And then you have an ability to generate incredible financial success with this on Team Buddha, which is part of Team Michael, Jaco, and be Jacofied here with the with the Sovereign Soul Show, right?
And we also have a new compensation plan where we have dozens and dozens of people that I've experienced that weren't earning income, that were sharing, that are now earning income. For the same type of sharing, and they're getting very excited and building very big businesses. I see a lot of people within our downline that are really starting to crank it. It's very, very good, very encouraging.
Yeah, very cool. We've got some people that are replacing what they were making at their own salaries, pretty well. So we'll get after it. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're at the 90-minute mark here, which is a wonderful way to wrap it up, everybody. and leave you off on this Jubilee year. Happy New Year's to all of you, and God bless you, Michael and Tracy Joe. Thank you guys for your friendship and your support and your leadership.
Happy New Year's, and God bless everybody out there. Thank you.
Awesome. And now we're on to another Tier 1, Colonel Chuck Sellers with his comments. You might hear it from Tier 1 Navy SEAL Team 6 legend Michael. Time to hear it from the Deputy Commander of Delta Force at his retirement, but he also was a commander for Delta Force in theater in Afghanistan, in Iraq, Colonel Chuck Sellers, and what these patches did for him, taking you out of pain, reigniting a second lease on life. So I'll leave it there with everybody. It's a great video. Yeah, you got it. Thank you, guys. God bless everyone. Here's Colonel Sellers, hearing from himself.
Hey, dear soul, if you know anybody who needs deep healing, has pain, hard time sleeping, stay tuned for these messages from Colonel Chuck Sellers, the former Deputy Commander of Delta Force. It is powerful and literally may help change your life to revitalize energy, activate stem cells, and live younger, reverse aging.
I'm telling you, Michelle will tell you because she watches me, okay? So, you saw me, Brad, that time when my back was so bad. You remember you were here.
Yep.
And you said, we got to do something. Well, my left knee is destroyed. I mean, it's totally rebuilt, and then 5 operations.
But you have to tell about your back.
And my back is a disseminated idiopathic skeletal hyperostosis, DISH disease, which is a degenerative back disease that's genetically passed down. But what it leads to is total calcification of the spine. And so
jumping out of airplanes just made it come quicker.
Yeah, I didn't know that I had it until 2002, after I'd been in the Army for 24 years. Wow. And jumping and all of the parachute jumping and the opening shock and everything. So when I was 48 when I got out, something like that.
And one application of the patch later.
We went to a rodeo on Saturday, our first day.
Literally, we went to a rodeo on Saturday.
And it was maybe 6 to 7 hours. And he wasn't slumped over, and he could handle it.
No pain.
It was pretty incredible.
That was the first day. That was your first day wearing them.
That was the first day.
Wow.
That was the first day I had on.
We're only doing...
Are you wearing X39 too, or just Ice Wave?
No, just Ice Wave right now.
The way we did it, I've only done the Ice Wave.
Yes.
All I have used so far is the Ice Wave, the 2-patch thing. And I'm doing it just over 3 days now. I find that where I need it, I did try it on the behind the neck,
the first day was here.
But really where it helps is to put it right on where it really hurts is my lower back across the pelvis. And I put it on the spine there and then down on my lower left leg.
Down the top of the foot the first day.
So it goes through the bad knee. That's it now. But since I put these things on, that's how I feel. I mean, I'm walking straight. I'm not limping.
Hey, you divine lions and lionesses, you amazing sovereign souls. Look at this. Powerful, affordable X39 patches help regenerate your stem cells. These were developed for Navy SEALs. Burns up to 500 calories, acts like a wearable med bed on your body. So you get to wear your natural wellness daily. Order X39 now at catchthelifewave.com. There's Monday to Friday phone support, so you can go there. There's Zooms, and there's a 100% 90-day money-back guarantee at catchthelifewave.com. The X39, there is nothing else like it. Help activate stem cells, reverse aging, and rejuvenate your life at catchthelifewave.com. Thanks for joining us on the program, ladies and gentlemen. Please like,
Follow, subscribe, share this with 9 friends and family, and of course, if you enjoy our blinged Buddha firing red pills from his 9mm, let us know.